Hi, my name is Shanda Rule. I'm a singer, storyteller, joy spreader, and host of the Courageous Voice podcast. The Courageous Voice podcast gathers and shares stories from artistic folks around the world and their journeys through fear, courageousness, and creativity. Join us and get inspired with me as we chat about learning to befriend and walk with and past our fears to share our voices courageously with the world. Hi, this is Shanda Rule, host of the Courageous Voice podcast, with a quick note. The following episode with Persian singer-songwriter Emma Robatjazy was recorded in February of this year, 2023, at a time where people around the world were taking the streets in protest against the Iranian regime, demanding justice and freedom and civil rights for women after the death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini, who was arrested in Tehran for improperly wearing her hijab, and then she was beaten to death while she was in prison in September 2022. So this episode is about awareness, and it's also about hope and a desire to use art, and specifically music, for change. Because for the past 43 years, women in Iran have been forced to cover their hair in hijab and wear loose clothing, and they cannot dance or even sing publicly. They can't travel without parental or spousal approval, just to name a few things. And since the beginning of this revolution, hundreds have been killed, including children, and over 10,000 have been arrested, and there have been executions and death penalty sentences for those just wanting to be associated with this movement. But despite these circumstances, there are women who continue to speak out and engage in a creative dissent using TikTok and Instagram and music to spread the word and rally the international community and build solidarity. Here is Emma's story. Hello and welcome back to the Courageous Voice podcast. This is Shanda Rule, your host. I hope you all have been enjoying the content this season. I am so excited to introduce our guest today. Y'all, this is Emma Robatjazy. Yes. She is a singer, a songwriter, a composer, a content creator also. She is an independent artist with a huge international following. Mm-hmm. I saw all of your followers all over the world listening to you on Spotify, and a very young woman here in Vienna. She's here from Iran studying also. So she's already a professional musician, but she is studying because of her love and passion for music. Welcome.
That's true. Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me, Chanda. It's a pleasure.
Of course. Listen, you have something on your Instagram. You say you're living a Hami lifestyle in Vienna. What is that?
Okay, this has a backstory to it. So basically, there's this anime, Howl's Moving Castle, that I've watched since I was a kid. And there's a fire in this anime. The fire is even my background. Okay. And the fire only goes hum, and it eats wood. So that was my joke as a kid. I loved this so much that I grew up with it, and then I made it a thing of living a hummy lifestyle, which comes from that anime.
It's so cute. I love it. Okay. I'm now making connections like fire, like passion.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And animes.
And you know what? I need to get on the anime game because I don't know it. Is this not Pokemon? It's not anime, is it? Or is it ish?
It is.
Is it? Okay.
Yes. And, or at least as far as I know. But I'm also not the biggest anime fan, but I've watched Naruto. You've probably heard of Naruto.
I've heard of this.
That's a really famous one. I'm still watching it. And so yeah, I like anime a lot, and I've watched a lot of animes growing up. So yeah.
Okay, I love this. So listen, you have a new single out.
Yes.
Tell me about it. It's Woman, Life, Freedom.
Exactly.
And I tried to get some more information on it, but there was this beautiful interview, but I didn't understand a word except for your hello greeting because it sounded very French. And when you said thank you. So tell us about this single. And yes, what's going on with it? Why are you
Yeah.
on the news?
Well, so this single came out last Friday, so it's been like a week or so that it released. It's a song that's called Woman, Life, Freedom, and it's about the current revolution. At this point, I would call it a revolution going on in Iran. It started last September because of the death of Mahsa Amini. Mahsa Amini was an Iranian woman that was murdered by the police because she was not wearing her headscarf. So this started this whole revolution that's now been going on for a few months since September. And basically, I wrote this song about how I feel towards the situation. And since I think, in my opinion, every step matters in this revolution. It's not just sharing the news, but as an artist or as a musician, I think my role in this is more than just spreading the news of what we can do, but I can contribute to this by making music so that if people who are protesting inside and outside of Iran need to feel empowered, need to feel strength, and need a motivation or a source of energy to keep going with this, because no revolution took a day. It takes a while for everything to happen and to move forward. So I dedicated this song to this revolution, especially the refrain. I'm saying, take my hand, hold your head up high today. Our voices are louder than the sirens. We'll learn to fly again, because I feel like we're birds trapped in cages, and or our wings have been cut, and it somehow feels like that to me. So yeah, that song is all about that, and I really encourage you to go and listen to it, and I hope you like it.
Yeah, I've listened, I've watched the video, and we'll include links in the show notes for everyone who wants to hear the music and your other music. Emma has so much music out. And would you say there's a common theme with your music, with empowerment, or is it just what's on your heart?
I have a lot of different sides when it comes to music. So I study jazz, and a part of me really likes jazz and scat and like just sing standards and all of that stuff. But when it comes to my songwriting and composing, I already have an album that we're recording with Erika Satrian, pianist, jazz pianist, and we work on music together. So we're recording this album together that has 7 songs. I wrote all of these songs myself, and with, of course, Eric composing on piano. It's a lot, I would say, over the theme of longing. And specifically this album, it's more towards longing and a little melancholy. Also, I write a lot about my dad. My dad passed away when I was 12.
Okay.
And I really like to write about him a lot. So I wrote in that album, there are 2 songs that are about him. Yeah.
Okay.
It's more,
Okay.
I don't know what genre I would put it in. Maybe I could say it's jazz, of course, because of Eric mostly. There are songs that have solos in between them, so it's completely jazz. But pop also.
I'm so curious about your journey, especially to jazz, or if that was something that you were hearing, or what kind of music that you grew up with, because this voice that you have is just,
Thank
it's
you.
just otherworldly.
Thank you. This means a lot. Coming from you, I'm like, oh my God.
Oh
Thank you.
gosh. But tell us about your musical journey and the direction that you're going into now.
Yeah. So just the other day, I had a lesson with Veronica Swift. She's one of my favorite singers, and
Wow.
she is like, her scatting and her jazz language is amazing. So I wanted to have a lesson with her. And when she asked me, how do you know about jazz, or how long have you been listening to jazz? I just thought right there that my background for jazz music comes from basically 3 years ago, because before that I used to live in Iran, and the music I grew up with, which is also very, very rich because it's Persian traditional folk music, it also has a lot of complexity in it, is completely different. Like how my ears are used to that compared to how my ear is getting used to jazz now. I'm taking baby steps, I would say, because it's not something I grew up with, where like it's not something where I turned on the radio and I listened to it and I'm completely used to it. So Jazz started around 3 years ago, and I got more into it, and I really liked to learn more. So I applied to a music university here in Vienna, which is where I'm studying now. But just with singing, I didn't sing before. Actually, when I was around 9, I wanted to play the piano. So I started with piano. I asked my parents if I can learn piano, and singing is completely illegal and forbidden for women in Iran, regardless of the age. But playing an instrument is okay. I have no idea where this rule, I mean, it's a religious rule, but I don't know why. So,
Okay.
because I already had a passion for singing, but I couldn't pursue it, I was told, or I was rather more going towards an instrument like piano. So I started with classical piano when I was around 9 until like 12, 13. I kept going with classical pieces in classical piano. And then I told myself I really want to learn how to sing, but there is no legitimate source in Iran to learn how to sing because it's illegal. So the only way that I could do it was to go online and look for courses or YouTube and just try to find anything I can to learn. And I was not a natural singer. Like I sounded breathy, I sounded shaky, I sound like I had no vibrato going on. Everything was like completely raw. And I have
Okay.
like voice memos of myself even from like 5 years ago. And I'm like, oh.
Really, I mean, I find this so hard to believe. And anyone who listens to your music is going to be like, what? Really?
Oh.
Okay.
That's actually very interesting to me too, because I also teach. And when someone tells me, can I learn this? I'm like, oh, you sure can. If I did it, you can learn it. Like it's, I learned everything. That's why I actually got more into teaching, because I like to explain how I do certain things to
Okay.
people. So yeah, I had to go through different methods, like a few American methods, and then a CVT, which is a European method. That really developed my voice, and I did all of that online when I was in Iran. I still couldn't do concert. I still couldn't release anything. I couldn't do anything publicly. So privately, you can do whatever you want, but you cannot
Okay.
have an Instagram and just post things. But anyhow, I started doing that. It's not
Okay.
like everybody's watching you at all times, but it's luck. It's kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
somehow, someday, someone's gonna open your Instagram and be like, oh, let's go arrest her. Literally like that.
Okay.
It's like it can happen if you're actually doing it publicly, it can happen to you sooner or later, it will actually. So I was around 16 or 17. I opened an Instagram account, and what I could do was just play on the piano and sing or like do covers and put them online. And since I was like still a teenager or like 16, 17, I very quickly I gained a lot of attention. So my followers started going higher and higher into 100,000, 200,000. And then my mom was really scared. She was telling me, this is not good when you're here. Imagine, like, you're following your passion and you're told you need to stop or something like that
Right.
because it puts you in danger. And I was still very little, so I was very not brave, or maybe at that point I would even say stupid, because I was doing things that could have easily ruined my future, and I could have not even been here now. But nobody ever told me anything, or at least I left Iran as soon as I could. When I
Okay.
was 18
Okay.
or 19, I left Iran, and then everything followed up. But the whole journey of being in Iran and trying to do music is really trying to do music, because everything I did, there was a question mark next to it of, can I, or am I allowed to, or will I end up in jail or something like that? Because, you know, it's completely surreal when you think of it. I don't know if there's anywhere else in the world that has the same regulation as Iran. And just a few days ago or a week ago, the first ever Persian artist to win a Grammy was a guy who wrote a song about Iran. And he released it. He was put into jail because he was on the side of people, not the government. So he wrote a song about the protest. And he was in Iran. So he didn't see it coming, as in his song going viral. But overnight, he had 40 million views and his song was going viral. So the next day, they arrested him. and he was in jail for a few months until they released him, and then he won a Grammy, and then he's in jail again.
Wow. Okay. So he won a Grammy in America, but he's still living in Iran.
Yeah, because he cannot leave now.
Okay. Wow. And he literally released something online.
Yeah, he just put
One
up
song.
something online, one
Wow.
song, and they dedicated this award to him and honored him and created this new category of song for social change.
Wow.
So he was the first to win an award in this category, and there was a lot of attention. Oh, the first artist, the first musician, the first Persian artist who win a Grammy. So it again caused him trouble. I kind of put myself in his shoes because he's my friend, and I think, okay, what if I was
Wow.
there and I did the same thing, and
Okay.
yeah, could have even happened to me.
But so because you're not there, everything is fine?
Well, I cannot go back.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
there's nothing written on a paper that I cannot go back, but with everything I did, because as soon as I was in Austria, I started releasing music videos, I started doing like songs and performing, of course, everything. And I didn't leave thinking I would want to go back now because I had so much, I don't even want to say anger, but a little bit of anger towards like how the country that I am supposed to call home treated me when I was there, that I didn't really think of I want to go back. I thought of, okay, maybe if things change in 10 years, 20 years, I don't know, I might go back, but now when it's like this, I don't want to go back.
Okay. Okay. I'm just thinking when you were talking about this, you mentioned your mom. And so I think it's so beautiful that she is supporting you in this. And so was it her idea to to get you moved so you could pursue your gift
Mhm.
more or
Everything was entirely my idea.
okay.
I was
Okay.
12 and I told my mom, I want to go. As soon as I was like, I need to sing, I want to sing. I used to play piano, but still I knew singing is what I want to pursue. So I told her, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. And I ended up coming to Austria, which I'm very happy about because I made a lot of good friends and I met you. And it's amazing being here. I really love it. But I was supposed to go to Boston, then I didn't. But my mom always encouraged me to pursue singing. Like she never
Wow.
told me because she wanted to become a singer.
Did she? That was going to be
Yeah.
my next question. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. This is something that she wants to pursue still.
I have a very spontaneous mom.
Okay. Okay.
She was first a painter, oil painter, in her early 20s. Then she had me. Then she stopped painting, and then she pursued English literature. She studied English
Okay.
literature. Then she became an English teacher, and then mid 30s she became an accountant.
Okay.
And I have no idea why, but I mean, yes, my dad was an accountant, so she became an accountant, and then now it's been 5 years that she's a scuba diver.
Oh my God.
She likes to change, also because she lives on an island in Iran, so there's this lovely Persian Gulf there that she can go and swim in and just scuba diving and diving, so she loves that.
Oh my God. If she comes to visit you, please let me know. Like that's pretty amazing. That's pretty
Yeah.
amazing. Okay, so tell me why Vienna? I mean, Boston, what's there? It's not Boston Conservatory. It's
Berkeley.
Berkeley. Yes.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
then that was number one choice. You're like, maybe not Berkeley. So then why Vienna?
So I applied for Berkeley when I was 16.
Okay.
Around 17. I got a partial scholarship, and I told my mom, can I go there? Like, can we cover the cost and everything? She was like, yes, we can. So as I was applying for a visa, because I needed a visa to go to Boston, the pandemic happened.
That's so okay.
Yes. I mean, I was technically 17, and then, it took a while to apply, get accepted, like apply for a visa. So all of that took a year or so, and then the pandemic happened, and my visa was pending. I didn't know when it was gonna happen. It like almost a year went by. And
Okay.
at that point, I was like, I'm gonna try for another country. And a lot of countries, universities were already like, they were closed or they didn't have online auditions yet. So Vienna and JamLab was one university that I looked and they had online auditions. So I auditioned online also because I was in a place where I was in Iran that I was told I need to leave soon. The sooner the better because of the whole singing and releasing music and just being active on social media. So my mom and a few of my friends told me, don't wait for your visa and just leave as soon as you can so that you're safe, and then you can decide if you want to go to Boston after.
Oh, wow.
So while my visa was pending for the States, I said, okay, I'm going to go to Austria. That happened very quickly. And then I came to Austria. And I still wanted to go to Boston, but I just met so many wonderful musicians and so many wonderful friends. I just love it so much. And I don't feel the need to go to Boston anymore. Because that's what I'm doing. I'm just making music and that's what I want to do. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay. So what is the dream then?
The dream.
Yeah.
That's a big question.
Well, I mean, it's just a dream, right? So, I mean, dreams change and develop, but
I've always had this dream ever since I was little to do something that could also influence my people, so Persians and Iranians in general. So the fact that Shervin is the guy who won the Grammy, he already did something that never happened before, and he actually made a big change, is really nice. I also have something in mind to bring change into this world in any way I can with my music, good change. And I would say, I don't know where I see myself in 5 years, but I would like to keep doing music and writing and putting out songs, and hopefully I can create a change, even a small one, but really that's what I have in mind.
that's beautiful. All right. Well, tell us all the places where we can find you online, where we can hear your music. Tell us everything.
So you can find me on Instagram with my username is iweirdo, IWEIRDDO. So it has 2 D's. And I don't know why. Don't ask me. I don't think I'm weird. I mean, yeah, but not really. So I did that when I was 13. I just created an Instagram account and I just put iweirdo. I don't know. So you can find me there with that. And all other platforms you can find in my link tree, the link tree in my bio, on my Instagram bio. You can find everything else there. YouTube, Spotify, and I mean, there are a lot of Emmas, so you can just go Emma Woman Life Freedom on Spotify or Apple Music, and then you will find my profile. That's the easiest way, I think.
Okay. Well, thank you,
Yes.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much for inviting me. This was really, really nice.
The Courageous Voice podcast is a collaboration between Connect.Faith and me, Shanda Rule. Music is by Ike Sturm and production by Jess Burchett. Thanks for listening.